My name is Jared.
And I'm Jessie.
A few months back, I had a good job working for the state doing something that I really enjoyed, and had a lot of good people that I worked with. And in August, the company came out with a new requirement to be eligible to work there. You had to get the COVID vaccine or you'd be terminated, basically. So for me personally, that was not a good fit for me to get that, so that kind of led us into a really tough decision at that point, and we kind of had to go into major prayer mode at that point.
Yeah, so that was very scary. We didn't know, gosh, it would have been so much easier if we could just get this vaccine and stay here, but I knew Jared's heart, and so we went into serious prayer mode, and I asked God to take away this feeling that we had, that if it would be so much easier to get it and stay here and not have to worry about the details of where we're going to live and what job he'll have. And God has a way of making you wait until just his perfect timing, and it's not my timing, but his timing was perfect.
About a month prior, when I knew that an accommodation wasn't really an option there, I kind of went into job search mode at that point, and we were kind of waiting on God's timing, and a lot of doors were being closed, and as it got closer and closer, we really had to trust God, and it's really hard not to think in a human way and worry about, well, how am I going to be able to provide for our family and have all those answers. But like Jessie was saying, God's timing is impeccable, and funny enough, on my last day of employment with the place that I was working at, my coworker was driving me home, and I got a phone call from a place that I interviewed for and some place that I was really excited to work, and they offered me a job, and it just was a huge example of how God provides, and his timing is impeccable.
I think the biggest thing through this whole process that God was teaching us was to rely on him, to trust him, and he'll take care of all the details. And that was super hard because, I'd pray and then I'd trust him, and then all of a sudden, you start thinking about all the little details and you go, oh my gosh, and you just feel this heaviness. And then I'd stop and I'd go, oh my gosh, I'm looking at all the things that need to get done. We need to sell the house, we need to find a new house, the job, and I realized I wasn't looking at God anymore. I was thinking of the worldly sense of what we need for our family, and so then I turned back to God and I'd pray, and the anxiety didn't go away immediately, but I could feel the weight lifting off my shoulders.
I think the toughest part through this situation was trying to reason, I guess, in my human way of how I'm going to be able to provide for my family and have all those details figured out. But that was the situation that I really had to trust in God, because he's already got everything figured out, and I don't have to worry about the details. I just have to trust in him, and I can put everything else on his shoulder, and that was the biggest thing for me.